assessment. For example, a monthly assessment or a weekly assessment could help the employer to analyze the work of their employees. Not monitoring all the time, but this regular assessment should help the employer.
Yeah. Okay. Any other opinion?
I think
yeah.
the employee is not rabbit. The people was threatened by the tracking. They lost, feel nervous, feel lost their private, and so they are not good at it. So people we may not truly work hard with the company.
Yeah. Okay. Any other ideas?
For me, most I agree. Most I agree because in the work time, I think if you travel out of town for the goods, that a big truck, that. So I think at work time is useful, and when you at the rest time you can close the
application.
Yeah. At the rest time you closed. At the work time you can open. Yeah.
Open it.
If you have some problem, the company can easily help you. I think.
Okay.
So for me, I think the best is employee and the employer make a good relationship, so they can trust each other. They don't cheat each other. So if employer hired the employee, so employee try to work hard, and everything is good for the company you can do. And the employer, so you have to trust the employee. Their attitude, their work experience, and I think the trust is more important for both sides.
I see what you meant, Tina, but for some big companies like Amazon or IBM or the others, it's not possible to just to make just trust people, because the employers usually do not have the time and the energy to know everybody on their staff. So there should be some mechanism to be able to watch over all those people. Don't you think so?
Yes, depends the kind of business.
Yeah, for small businesses, you're right. Maybe Tina is right. Trust is a good word, but for big businesses like Amazon and others, it's not actually a possibility.
I agree.
Any other ideas about this topic? No?
No. No.
Let's go to the next debate question. So this is the next topic we're going to discuss. There's no reason for an employee who is working efficiently in the workplace to feel threatened by tracking devices. Do you agree or disagree?
I agree with this. When somebody is working hard and honesty, why it should be tracking in personality things?
Yeah, I agree.
But if it's the rule of the company, you should to respect and follow the rules if
Mm.
you want to be in the company.
Mm-hmm. So do you think this sentence is true, or you don't agree with that?
Yeah, I think it's
As an
true.
employment is true, but if the company has the rules and needs the process, if you want to work there, you have to follow.
Mm-hmm.
I think if employee working efficiently in the workplace, you cannot feel any threatened. Why? You work hard, just work hard. Employee can find, oh, you work hard. That's good. That's good. Why you feel threatened? So I think, yeah, this
So
sentence is
you
right.
got no
You
problem
no reason.
with her.
Yeah, you no reason feel threatened.
Yeah. You don't need to worry if you're working
Yeah, you
efficiently.
don't worry about.
You don't need to worry.
But if we feel all the time we are monitored,
Mhm.
is unconscious, we feel threatened.
You
We
become
feel worried.
comfortable.
No, we don't feel comfortable. If we think all the time we are monitored by employer, it's not okay.
It's not.
But
Or remember yesterday we talked about surveillance cameras and those CCTVs. They're everywhere nowadays. Wherever you're working, there are some cameras, so you're being monitored all the time.
yes, but it's different with employer
Mhm.
and employee.
Yeah.
Monitoring may be
Uh,
disturbing all of the people, but but based on the example, for example, you say that the Amazon, who won't be judged the work quality of the employee. It's very, very important issue, and managing is very, very difficult. And you must have the regulation, and you must have the systematic review every day about your employee to choose the best and to get some of the people that do the best, and the working must be monitored, but the monitoring every time as I said, may be disturbing every people, but it's not the I want to say that it's not bad for the all of the manager is not, it's related to the business, small business, just different from the very huge and big business like the Amazon, Google, and so on.
Okay. Any other opinions, ideas about the topic? No? Okay. I've got a video prepared for you. I'm going just to mute everyone again so that we have less noise on the video. And we're going to watch a piece of news. It's about the same topic. And we're going to listen and watch the video. And then I will ask you some questions.
Your employer can legally monitor the websites you visit, your emails, texts, social media accounts, and the whereabouts of your company car, even during non-work hours. Business owners say it's about productivity, but critics call it a big brother practice that robs employees of their right to privacy. Joining me on the legal issues involved is employment law attorney Dan Eaton. Dan, welcome back.
Sure, nice to see you.
Dan, what do business owners say as to the need, as to why they need to monitor their employees so closely?
The two most frequently given reasons are productivity and misconduct. They want to squeeze as much productivity as they can out of their employees because that means higher profits. And what that means is they are trying to see where the waste is in their employee movement. With misconduct, I think it's pretty obvious why they're monitoring it for suspected misconduct.
You shouldn't be visiting, sites, illegal sites or immoral sites during work hours.
Exactly right, or doing things you shouldn't be doing on the web. Even using the internet casually and taking up too much time. It really is a time waster sometimes.
What can employers in California legally monitor?
Well, they can monitor anything that's out there publicly, of course, even your social media sites. What they cannot do, of course, is they cannot request or require employees or applicants to give them their social media private passwords. But it's really up to employees and applicants to monitor their privacy settings.
So how about cell phone text, phone calls, things like that?
A lot of that depends on who issued the device. If it's an employer-issued device and they have a policy that says they can and will monitor, they can and many times will monitor those devices. If it's private and you're using a private account and your own private device, whether it's a phone or iPad or what have you, then the law is less clear about what the employer can do. If you're doing it on your own time with your own device, you're probably protected.
So you mentioned that business owners are looking at this as a productivity situation, but there was a case recently in New York of a man who got fired after being monitored for some of the stuff he was doing with his job. How can employers use this information? Can they fire you over it?
Well, sure, they can, depending on the nature of it. But of course, if you're at will, there's a broad latitude to fire. But the case you're referring to is a 2008 case where the employee, in fact, who was a public employee, had been disciplined for some time-wasting misconduct. The employer wanted to find out who was still going on, so they attached the GPS to his private car. And so they found out that, yes, he was wasting time, and they fired him. And an intermediate New York Court of Appeals upheld that firing, said, you know what? The employer, the public employer, in this case, ironically, the State Department of Labor, had an interest in its own integrity and protecting the waste of taxpayer money.
But some would say, look, the government can't place a GPS on a suspect's car. They can't access your computer.
Without a court order.
Right, without a court order. They can't access your computer without a court order or a search warrant. So how come employers are given that right?
Well, of course, employers in broad terms typically don't have the constitutional restraints that apply to the government. But here in California, the constitutional right to privacy does apply both to private employers and public employers. But here's what it amounts to. If you're on notice from your employer that your employer is going to look at it, your reasonable expectation of privacy shrinks. And that allows the employer to do a lot more than he otherwise could.
Let's talk about that disclosure. What do employers have to disclose, and when do they have to disclose it as far as monitoring?
Well, of course, depending on the situation, they may not have to disclose it at all. There was a video surveillance case that came out of the California Supreme Court that said it was okay, depending on the nature of the harm that was involved. But the bottom line is that if an employer does disclose, it gives them much more right to review and monitor this kind of behavior than if they don't. And most employers these days, Peggy, do have the kind of policies that put employees on notice that they can be watched.
So we know before it's happening. What about outside of work? Let's say you're griping about your boss on Facebook. Is that something that your boss can access?
Sorry, it depends. I know that people hate to hear that from a lawyer, but it depends on whether it's a personal gripe or whether it is a gripe that is in mutual aid and benefit of improving workplace conditions. What does that mean? The National Labor Relations Board has issued guidance that says, look, if an employee is griping in order to make workplace conditions better and is doing it in conjunction with other employees, that is protected. You can't fire them for that. But if they're just personally griping, the employer can, in fact, take action against the employee.
Your takeaway message to workers who are concerned about privacy issues at work, what's your advice?
Be careful about using company-issued equipment and what you say on company-issued equipment, using company-issued accounts, whether social media or email, because somebody may be watching.
All right, Dan Eaton, employment law attorney. Thanks so much for this update.
Sure.
Okay. Did you get anything out of the video? Was the voice quality?
Honestly, I didn't, because he talks too fast.
Yeah, I know.
Too fast.
Too fast, and you might need to watch it several times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will send you the link on WhatsApp. Please check the WhatsApp all the time. I will send you everything that I think that are.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
At home, and you can watch it at home because we don't have much time left to watch it again. But what did you understand out of the video by any chance?
They're talking about the regulation between the employee and employer. He was the attorney,